Hi, what's up everybody? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to remove the background from this photo. And this person, she just wants, for this project, she just wants this person by itself. So this is what the final photo will look like. So we go through and clean up some things and a couple of other different tools and techniques. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna close out of that one. And so the first thing what I'm going to do here is the photo is locked, so I have to unlock the photo. So if you double click on this top option, you can name it. I really don't need to name it. And so the first thing I'm going to do is rotate this photo. Now if you go here to edit, transform, and then what you want to do is rotate it 90 counterclockwise. Now as you can see, the shortcut is Control and T. But for this sakes, I'm just going to do this. So CCW is counterclockwise. So that turns it this way. And then another tool we are going to do is we can zoom in. Now if here's a zoom tool, Z is a shortcut for that. You can zoom in like this way. Or, if you right click, I'm going to put this on screen. Or another thing is if you hold the Alt key, which is next, if you're on Windows, it's next to the Windows logo. You can zoom in that way as well. But first you want to change this to the move tool. So if I hold Alt, then I can zoom in, and I'm using the scroll key on the mouse to do that as well, to zoom in and out. And now that I'm over here, I'm going to hold the space bar. Now with the space bar, you see how I get this little hand? So now I can move this photo however I need to if I need to zoom out. And so there's that as to begin with. So let's zoom in. I'm zooming a little bit on his face and show you guys another technique. Now right here, you see how this is an older photo, so you have all these specks and things of that nature. So I'm gonna come over here and use this tool called the spot healing brush. And so what this does, it examines the area and then it makes a overall measurement analysis. So if I hit this, then watch what it does, because it analyzes area, its surroundings, and did its best guess. Now for the most part, the tool is good. There are some times when it's not that good, but for majority of the time, it's good. So that's the first thing that I did. So I'm just holding it down, and again, it's just analyzing the area. And after, to make it bigger and smaller, you have the brackets key, which again, if you're on the Windows, if you see the letter P, you got the brackets. So to make it bigger and smaller. And again, I'm just analyzing, just going through with the spot healing tool and just cleaning up these little specks. And so, just doing that briefly. Let me see if I can get this one. Alright. Now, since that's mostly done, now the other thing we're going to do is we want him by himself. So we are going to come over here to this quick selection tool. Now with the quick selection tool, is it pretty much, like I said, you're making a selection of the person that you want by themselves. And so as you can see right here, as I do the selection, it's highlighting a little bit more than what we wanted to do. So again, what we want to do is, right here is a subtraction tool. So if you hit the subtract, it will remove it from the selection. Now you can do that, or again, if you hold the Alt key, then it turns into the subtraction tool. And so what we are going to do is remove everything that we don't want from the photo. And again, I'm just making different parts bigger and smaller, still holding the Alt key, removing different parts. Oh no, I want that in there. Because then if you let it go, then you see how it goes back to the plus key. So again, you just play around with it, whatever you want. Is that his hair? Yeah, that's his hair. as well. So again, I'm just messing around on this magic wand tool. Just the Alt key. If you hold down the Alt key, you get the minus sign. If you release it, you get the plus sign. So I want that in there. Move this as well. So now that we have this, now another thing that I like to do is, so now we have that, I right click and I bring up the feather tool. With the feather tool, it adds like a little bit of, to smoothen it out a little bit so you don't have a bunch of hard edges. And I just usually do a 0.5, which softens up the edges a little bit. And so now that I have the selection tool, I'm going to come over here. If you come down here to this tool right here, it's called a layer mask. And what it does, it acts like a mask. So pretty much it hides everything else. So now you just have the photo by itself. And so now you can see what it looks like, what you want or what you don't want. And so now as you see, we have these hard edges. But since we're on this brush tool, since we're on this layer mask, I'm going to go to the brush tool, or the shortcut is B right here for the brush tool. And then same thing, make this bigger and smaller. And what I'm going to do is just smoothing up these edges because they're a little too rough for me. Oops, hold on one thing. When you're on this layer mask and you're on the brush tool, make sure you have this on black, because black conceals, white reveals. So I'm on black, so you see how it's kind of removing. If I put it back on white, it brings it back. And so for the most part, this right here is what takes majority of the time, because you want to, I mean, you can be precise or however, you know, and it's better, like I said, to be precise and make it more and so again, just, oh, my fault. One more thing, to switch these back and forth, you hit this X tool. So it toggles between the black and the white. And right now, so I'm just softening these edges because I want them to be a little smooth because they look a little rough right now. Yeah. And also, I might remove all of his hand, right? I'll crop that out later. But so then I'm hitting Alt to zoom in and clean up some of this. You know, just going back and forth, hitting on, like I said, whatever your likings are. Right here, see how all that is jagged, so push that a little bit, smooth than that. I'm not gonna do this the whole time, because for the most part, and then again, to move this, hold the space bar, which will give you this little hand, so that way you can move it back and forth, so you can move around and do whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you this other little tool right here. So you see how we have these little patches right here in his hair? So again, if we go to the spot healing, or the J tool is a shortcut, as you can see, J. And again, we're going to analyze this area, and what it's going to do is, like, say, analyze the area. Oh, hold on. You got to switch this back to the original photo, because this is a layer mask, which will remove everything, but you have to have it on the original photo, which is this part. So now if I do it, so now again it's going through there, and even these little spots and spectacles. So I'm just going through and cleaning up all of that. And again, you can go through here and be as precise as you want to, you know, however clean you want the photo to be. So again, I'm just clicking on it and it's analyzing the area and removing a lot of that for you. And then one other tool, let me get rid of this. I don't like that. So for that, I'm going back to the mask tool and switching back to the brush, or the B tool right here. It's already on black. Get a little bit bigger and just remove all that. So I don't want that. And then I'm gonna show you this one other little tool. So I'm gonna click back on the original photo, come over here to this. Let me use a pen tool. Well, now I'll go to Lasso Tool, easiest. So you have the Lasso Tool. With the lasso, think of it as pretty much like a rope, but it's a digital rope. So with your mouse tool, you just pretty much draw different selections of whatever you want to do. And then they have this tool right here called Edit Fill. And then they have a tool called Content Aware, which is similar to that tool I told you about, that J tool, which it analyzes the area and it makes its own best guess. And so I want that to fill in a little bit more. Let's see if it will do it. And so the shortcut that you can do is, you see the shortcut is Shift plus F5. So if I hit Shift and F5, same thing. It's not filling it in. So I can use this other. Well, I use this other tool called the pen tool, which this would be in another tutorial. But it's technically the same thing. It's just a little bit more precise, and it does the same thing. Just analyze the area. Why is this not doing it? Okay, let's do it over here. Because I don't like that little patch. I'm going to patch that up. And so right now, the path is filled. But to make it into a selection, you hit Control and Enter, which will make it a selection. And then you hit Shift and F5, which will give you the content aware. And as you're seeing, it patches in that area. And so again, you can be precise as you want. And then for the most part, again, that's pretty much what you do. Make sure all the main parts, I want to fill that in. All the main parts are done. You can remove the spectacles from his face if you want to. And then once you do all that, to get rid of all that extra, I usually crop it out. So here's a crop tool. And the shortcut should pop up. Or if it doesn't, there you go. The shortcut is C. So if I hit C, I come down here and I just remove, crop it, and get rid of all that other stuff. Like I said about his hand earlier, I just crop out his hand and bring that in, and then hit Enter, and there you go. Now, like I said, if you would have put it on a flyer, whatever else, and you can, you know, make it bigger or smaller, so that way you have her, depending on what all you want to show. So if you just wanted this part, you know, you make the photo bigger or smaller, so then that's just, this part is just shown. And so that's pretty much that I have for you guys. If you have any other questions, just let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.